Here we go. We are live. Welcome, welcome. And we are going to learn about SwiftUI and Firebase authentication. And this is going to be multiple series where I'm going to build out a SwiftUI application which will have certain Firebase elements to it. Today we are going to start off with authentication. Tomorrow I'm going to also take a look at FIRESTORE, so make sure that you subscribe or like this video so you don't miss that live session. And this video is sponsored by myself, and what I'm sponsoring here is the Master SwiftUI in Swift Week, and that is SwiftUI Camp. Yes, so we are going to learn this and much more in SwiftUI Camp. Go ahead and check it out. It's at store.rebeloper.com SwiftUI Camp Twitter edition. We're going to build out the Twitter clone application, and we are going to do this for iOS and macOS. And by the way, here it says $2,000 and only 2 seats are left. This is a Zoom meeting with 5 of you guys. And the link in the description is of only for YouTube viewers, and that is a 50% off. Go ahead and check it out. It's in the link in the description. And what we are going to do in these 6 Zoom sessions is teach you the SwiftUI basics and upgrade you to a more advanced level. So yeah, go ahead and check out the landing page right over here. I've done this several times, so we have these testimonials for others, for the Instagram cohort, the iMessage cohort, the Netflix cohort. So we build out these example social media apps to learn SwiftUI, and these are the views that we are going to build. And if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. So yeah, go ahead and check out store.rebeloper.com/SwiftUI Camp Twitter edition. And today we are going to start off with Firebase authentication. I'm going to show you how it's done, like the old-fashioned way or the simple way. And then I'm going to jump in and show you how we are going to build it inside SwiftUI Camp. Well, basically the rough part of it. And I will show you how easy it is. And authentication, again, is just the tip of the iceberg, what we are going to learn in SwiftUI Camp. So please consider joining. So what we have here is, we are going to start off with a brand new Xcode project. It's going to be called Firebase Twitter Demo. It's a SwiftUI app, and the language is Swift. So let's click on next right over here. Let's just put it onto the desktop. Why not? And let's create a Git repository. So I can just put it on GitHub. Let's remove all of these because we don't really need them. And there we go. We have our demo project started. Now, what I'm going to do first is just go ahead and grab my bundle identifier, because I'm going to create my Firebase project. And here we are inside the console. So let's add our project right over here. I'm just pasting the bundle identifier, but I'm removing all the unnecessary stuff right over here. So let's click on continue. I don't need Google Analytics at this point. So what I'm going to do is just go the SDK, the old-fashioned way, the documentation way, and then I will show you how easy it is to just build it out with Firebase service library that I have created. It will be just super fun. Okay, so let's add our first app right over here. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, let's just wait for our browser to be really helpful for us. So we are registering this app. Let's just wait for that. And then we want to download the Google Service Info playlist file. There we go. And what we want to do is just drag and drop it right over here. I usually add it below the assets. The main idea here is that you want to drop it onto the root folder of your project. So let's click on finish right over here. I download a lot of Google Service Info playlist files, so we want to remove that part. And let's go back to our Safari. Let's click on next. Next up, what we want to do is just install the Firebase iOS SDK. So let's just copy that. And I'm going to do this through the Swift Package Manager. Cocopod is also available, but it's kind of outdated. So let's do that. Let's go right over here under your project, package dependencies, plus, and then just add that link right over there. What I want to do is just select up to next major version, so I have the latest version available. Let's add that package. Now, this will take a while for it to download, because there are a lot of submodules for this, but yeah, it should take no more than a few minutes. Now, till this is going to fetch, I'm going to go back and do some stuff right over here. So let's click on next. It says that we need to create this app delegate adapter, where we're going to use the initializer, because I don't want to create an app delegate adapter for iOS and Mac OS. So yeah, we are going to configure. So this is the most important line here. We're going to configure Firebase app in just a second. So let's click on next and then continue there. So we got our iOS app project created right over here. What we want to do next is just enable authentication. So let's do that. Let's get started. There we go. Let's just wait for this. And what I'm going to do here as an example, I'm going to use email and password. By the way, with the library that I'm going to share at the kind of the end of this live session, you can also have sign in with Apple through Firebase, which is really, really amazing. By the way, everything will be timestamped, so feel free to jump between those. Okay, so we are enabling it, saving it. Okay, and let's just go and set up also the FIRESTORE database. We're not going to use it today, not really, but we are going to do that tomorrow. So stay tuned. Make sure that you hit that notification bell so you get notified when that will be released. So I'm going to go with the test mode right over here. Let's click on next. You want to also make sure that you select the right server location for yourself, for your project, because that cannot be changed later on. So the default one is okay with me, so we are going to enable that. Okay, yeah, sometimes it does this. You just want to cancel out and refresh. It actually did create your Cloud Firestore bucket. Okay, so next up, I want to select storage, because we are also going to talk about storage in the upcoming lives. And then let's just go with test mode. Let's click on next. Now you see, and the storage location is already set. So we just want to click on done right over here. And I believe we are done setting up our dashboard with Firebase. If for some reason you deleted your Google Service Info playlist file, or you can't find it, or you want to download it again, I'm going to show it to you where it lives. It's right over here under project settings. Just scroll a little bit down. Here are your apps that you added, and you can just download it right over here. Now let's go into the database and set up some rules, because I don't really like the rule of read and write if false, because this will actually not allow us to read. What you could do is just set basically a timestamp to it, which the storage part has. Let's just go into the rules right over here. So this if the request is less than this date, then we will be able to access it. But actually what I like is an authentication based rule, and I'm just going to copy it out because, you know, well, actually on the Twitter demo we don't have it. Well, let's just see. I'm going to search for this one, maybe one of my client project. By the way, if you want to hire me, you can do so. There will be some cards over here that you can access it, or just go to my site rebeloper.com, and there you can just, you know, go ahead and SwiftUI Camp Twitter demo. Okay, this is not the SwiftUI Camp. Okay, I lost my train of thoughts here. But what I want to do is just go right over here and just set up the storage, read and write, and if request auth is not nil. Let's just publish this, And yeah, this way only authenticated users will have access to our storage. Now let's take a look at the FIRESTORE rules also. Let's just copy all of this out. It's basically the same thing. I want the auth to be not nil. So Firebase Twitter demo. Let's go onto the rules. There we go. Let's just publish those. Okay, so we are ready. Hopefully, on our Xcode project, we have Firebase Auth SDK. So what we want to do is just select all of these libraries. So we want to have Firebase Auth. We also want to have FIRESTORE and FIRESTORE Swift. And let's just scroll a little bit down, and Firebase storage. So let's add those. And now it's time to configure our Firebase app. And what a better way to do that is in the content view. So rather, let's just wait and switch on to the app. And what I'm going to do is, first of all, import Firebase, come on, auto completion, Firebase core. Okay, let's hit Command B so I have auto completion, because Xcode, I don't really like this. Yeah, it says no such module as Firebase core. Okay, so let's just wait. Yeah, it does need to build. The very first build, it takes a little while, but afterwards it will be really, really super fast. So what I'm going to do here is, inside the initializer of our app, I'm going to go Firebase app dot and configure. And that should be it. What we are going to build out inside the content view, I'm going to split this into two. So in the content view, I'm going to set like let's just see, a private state variable of, let's say, boosted. Okay, or let's just go with normal. A normal that is true or false. If it's not normal, then we are going to make it super easy and super fast. So what we want to do is just create a group right over here, and if normal, then we are going to do something. So we are going to present and use some packages and all of that. If not, then we are going to use Firebase service that we are going to do. Again, take a look at the timestamp if you want to jump over there. But on the normal, I want to have, let's see, what do I want to have? I want to have a content view. So, oh, sorry, not this one. I want to have a new file, and this will be a SwiftUI view, and that will be our normal, and this will be our normal container view. Okay, the normal container view, and then just for, you know, to have that also, I'm going to have a container view right over there. So on the content view, I'm going to add in here our normal container view. Okay, it's with small caps, so let me just revise that. View, and also view right over here and here. Okay, and right over here, I'm going to have a container view. Okay, so this is the normal. I'm going to set it to true. We're going to go for normal container view. Let's see if it's going to load as expected, and also if it's going to, you know, all the Firebase configuration has been set up correctly. Yeah, build has succeeded. It's really nice. We should see this hello normal container view on our simulator. Let's just wait this to load, and let me just put this right over here so we can see a little bit more of our simulator. It says hello normal container view, which is really, really nice. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, everything seems to be okay. Now, I have another YouTube video on this info.plist contained no UIC configuration dictionary. I will link to that, how you can fix this. So I'm just not going to pay attention to this right now, but everything seems to be working okay. So what do we want to do here? Well, actually what we want to do is have an authentication part and then a normal part. So let me just have here two groups, a new group, and that will be a normal. And let's have that right over here, and the other group, let's create a new group and let's have boosted. Let's just call it boosted, why not? And that will have the simple container view. Let's just drop it in here. Okay, so we have our normal container view right over here. What we should also have, let's create a new file, SwiftUI view, and that is our normal, come on, normal auth view. Okay, so we should have a normal auth view. Let's create that. And we should have also a normal main view. Let's create a new file again. So SwiftUI view, next, normal main view. This is the main view that we are going to present if we are authenticated. If we are not authenticated, we are going to present the auth view, the normal auth view. Okay, so right over here, how could we have that logic? So we should have some sort of a switch right over here. So currently I'm going to have, let's just have here an enum. Let's create an enum of authenticated state maybe, and that will have a case of undefined, and then we are going to have a not authenticated. Okay, and then we should have also an authenticated. Okay, so here we are going to have a private state of let's just call it auth state, and this will be of type authenticated state. Okay. And the default value, the starter value, will be undefined. Now, I want to have this as undefined because once your app launches, we are still trying, we will connect to the Firebase servers, and we don't really know if we are logged in or not. So for that time, that short period of time, we want to be undefined. So let's see, what do we have here? We want to have another group right over here. We want to switch through our auth state, and case dot undefined. I want to present a progress view, so progress view, and case dot not authenticated. I'm going to present the normal auth view, and case dot authenticated. I'm going to present our normal main view. There we go. And this looks like really straightforward. Let's see if we have everything set up correctly. Content view. Let me just close this. So we have our, okay, so let's build and run. And yeah, now we should just see our progress view, because our state for our auth state is set for the default one. And there we go. We have that. Okay. So great. What we want to do next is kind of learn how we could just have our auth state changed. And for that, we are going to take a look at the documentation, and let's just go right over here, and let's just go to docs and build authentication, and then we select iOS, and let's just get started. And yeah, we covered all of that stuff. What we need to do is add an add state did change listener. Okay, and on the auth. So what this does, well, let's just create a view model for, well, actually we want to create a service because maybe we want to have access to this later on. So let's just do that. I'm going to create here a new group. Well, under normal, so let's just create, well, let's just go with a file. So a SwiftUI view, and I'm going to call this normal auth state. Okay, so let's create that. Oh, and yeah, I created a SwiftUI, but actually what we want to do is just create a class called normal auth state. And I want to have an observed object. And right over here, first of all, I want to have a published variable. So published var auth state. And that is of type, I'm going to move our authenticated state, this enum, right over here, so I can just see it better. That will be of type authenticated state, and the default value will be, of course, undefined. And let's connect this to our auth view. Well, actually, I'm going to add this, on container view. Right over here on the content view, I'm going to create, well, yeah, I could just do this on the normal container view because, yeah, now it's like silos right over here. So instead of our authenticated state, I'm going to go create a private state object of auth state, and that will be a normal auth state. Okay, and now I just go auth state dot auth state. Well, let's just rename this to value. So right over here, value, why not? And then I just go auth state dot value. I'm just going to switch through those, and that's right over here. And let's hit Command V. Now we should be, well, actually, it should, state of requires. Oh, okay. Let's just jump right back in. And it's not an observed object, it's an observable object. Okay, let's just wait for this. Let's hit Command B, and everything should work as expected. Okay, build has succeeded. Now, of course, I will want this auth state to be available. So I'm going to add this actually on the normal auth view. So dot environment object, and then have that auth state, and also on the normal view. So again, environment object auth state. I'm not quite sure if it's going to work on the group, so maybe it will. If it will, then just go ahead and add only one environment object right there. So okay, so let's build and run so we can see that everything worked as expected. So we have one, there we go. We have that progress view. Now, if I just go and jump to definition and set this up as not authenticated, we should actually see the auth view. Let's just wait for that. There we go. It's hello world. Really great. Okay, so let's build out our logic. Let's go back to our undefined, and here in the initializer, I actually want to set up our authentication. So let's just import our Firebase Auth. So Firebase Auth, and the initializer. What I want to do is go back to the documentation, and we want to create an add state did change listener. So let's just do that. Let's just go back, say auth.add state did change listener, and here we are going to get back an auth and a user. Now, how do we know that we are actually authenticated? Well, if we do get back a user and not an optional nil, then we are authenticated. Otherwise, we are not authenticated. So let's see. So if user, so I'm going to use a ternary operator right over here. If user is not nil, if it's not nil, then set the value, or rather, let's just do this, value. Oh, we need to have the ternary operator set up. So then, let's see. Well, actually, value equals user, if not equals nil, question mark, and then we just go authenticated and otherwise not authenticated. Okay, yeah, finally I got it to work. Okay, we need to add in self here, right here, because we are inside a completion. Okay, looks really nice. So let's see if this actually working, because first at a little glance we should see actually the progress bar, progress view, and then we should just pop onto our auth view. So let's just go and have that hello normal auth view. So let me just go back. There we go. Let's just wait for this. Build has succeeded. Okay. Yep. We didn't. The response was really fast, and then we see our hello normal auth view. Okay, which is really nice. Now, what we want to do is sign in, right? So how do we sign in? Well, we already have this state object on our auth view right over here. Well, we will have once we import it as an environment object. So private environment object auth state of type, well, state of type auth state, normal auth state. Okay. And yeah, we are going to use this on our buttons. But for now, let's just create our functions. So function, let's just go sign up, because that's the first thing that we want to do. And this will, I already know, we return an auth data result. Okay, and we are going to use an asynchronous throwing function right over here, because we want to try await auth.auth and then create user. And as you can see, this is an asynchronous throwing function that is going to return us an auth data result. So we want to create a user with an email and password. Okay, where is the email and password? Well, we could just create here some new published variables at published var. Well, actually, what I would prefer not doing it right over here, because this auth state will be available throughout our application. So I'm just going to have here email, a string, and then password, another string value, and then just go email and password. Okay. And that's it for the sign up. Okay, let's, and by the way, auth data result, we don't really care about the auth data result. The actual authenticated state is listened right over here. So I don't really care. So I'm going to make this at discardable result. And I'm also going to make it at main actor. So at main actor, because in some cases the create user will go into background mode, and what I want to do is just come back to the to the main thread, so I don't clog the UI. Okay, so let's just copy this out and have a sign in with email and password. Okay, and instead of create user, I'm going to have dot sign in with email and password. There we go. We have our email and we have our password. There we go. What else do we need to do? Well, we want to also log out. So let's create at main actor again, and then func log out. There we go. And this will be only a throwing function. So it's just going to throw. Because we are going to try auth.auth sign out, and basically that's it. We want to try to sign out, and we have our sign up, our sign in, our log out. Okay, enough of coding this backend. Let's just go back to our auth view and let's add in some views, because we do have available our auth state. Let's have here maybe a vertical stack. Let's have a spacer that will push everything down, and right over here let's have a text field with a title of email, and then we are going to bind it to something. So let's just have here two private state variables, that is our email, and the default value empty string, another private state variable of password. There we go. And again, so we can bind it to our secure field, but for now, let's just bind it to our email. There we go. And let's have this as auto correction, text input auto capitalization to never, because I don't want to have all caps, like the capitalization of our first word. And then I'm going to also add our text field style of rounded border. And let's have also a padding right over here on the VStack. And next up, I want to add a secure field also with the title of password and the text binding of $password. Let's select that. And also have a text field style of rounded border. A lot of code right over here. So finally, I want to add a button. So that button will be a button of title and action. Let's just have it for now as sign up. And the action will be our auth state. Well, actually, I'm going to move the action sign up out of the button action, so I can just refer. So it's much easier to just try to stumble upon inside the view. As you can see, we have it already here, so it's not inside the body. Inside the body we can't see anything, so this is a good practice. So we have our auth state dot, and then we have sign up with email, but this needs to be inside an asynchronous environment. So what we need to do is just create a task, and then because this is throwing, I want to have a do catch statement also. Let's just have that catch right over there. There we go. And I'm going to print out my errors localized description. Let me take a sip of water. Okay, from my humongous bottle there. So now it's time to sign up. So we just go auth state dot and sign up with email, and that is our email. Sorry about that, guys. And the password. And we do want to try and wait for that. And that's it. Now we can sign up. Let's see if this is actually working. So let's build and run. Okay, there we go. We have our email. Let's go dev gmail. AS. There we go. Let's click on sign up, and we are signed up. This hello world is actually our normal main view. Oh, and I'm nearly losing my voice here. There we go. Okay, so it's really nice. So if I build and run again, you will see that we are already logged in, so it's just going to show us the hello world. But we want to work a little bit more on our auth view, let's say logging in and all of that stuff. So what we want to do is just implement on the normal view a button that will log out. So what better way of using again our environment object. So let's have that normal main view. Let's just go right over there, and then I'm just going to have another VStack. Let's have a button of log out, and the action log out. I'm going to create another function with func. There we go. Let's just have a func log out. And again, I do need to have a do catch statement. And this time it's not going to be asynchronous, so the do catch statement is okay. Do catch. Let's just print out our errors dot localized description. And right over here, I just go auth state dot and log out. That's it. We need to know it. Of course, I do need to try because it's a throwing function. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, let's just wait for it. Building and running, build succeeded. Okay, let's just log out. Okay, it just did switch it, which is really nice. By the way, let's just check on Safari if we do have an authenticated user. There we go, dev@gmail.com, really nice. Let's just go back to our Xcode project. And right now, let's see what's going to happen if I just go and add dev@gmail.com and add in my password. Let's click on sign up. And it will say the email address is already in use by another account, which is okay, which is really just fine. So what we need to implement here is the login functionality. So let's go back to the auth view and let's create a private state variable again here, like let's see, is signed up. And by default, that's set to false because usually we want to log in. So if is signed up, then we want to present another button. Otherwise, we want to present another button. So we just go if is signed up, else. So else we want to present this button because we are not signed up. Otherwise, we want to sign in. And let's create the sign in functionality also. So sign in. And let me just add that function right over here, sign in, there we go. I'm going to copy a little bit because yeah, we need to do all of that. And I do know that we have this sign in with email and password, and that's it. Now we can just sign in or sign up, but currently the sign is signed up is set to false, so it's always going to have this sign up. So what we need to do is create another button right over here. So button, and let's have this as, let's see, if we have is signed up, then, so another ternary operator. So if it's set to is signed up, that means, so if is signed up is true, that means that we want to switch to is signed up. So already have an account. And the other one is I don't have an account. So I don't have an account. Okay. And the action will be is signed up dot toggle. So when I toggle this, we are going to present different buttons. By the way, I'm going to have here maybe a group, and let's move all of this inside that group, and let's have a button style of bordered prominent. Why not? Okay. Let's see this in action. Let's see if we can just switch between, or did my dyslexia come in here? Let's see. So sign up. I don't have an account. So we are going to, okay, we want to start off with sign in. So yeah, I have that set up. So let me just copy this out. Oh, and I have to plug in my computer. Just a second, guys. What a shame in the live mode. Just a second. Well, that's live coding for you, plugged in. Okay, so now that we have switched, let's build and run again. Okay, and it says sign up, already have an account, but of course we want to have the login first, or sign in. Let's set this to true. Okay, let's see how this works. Okay, so sign in, or I don't have an account. Sign up, already have an account, so already have an account. Okay, so let's sign in. Okay, let's see, dev@gmail.com, and then my password, and let's sign in. And we're in. We can just log out, and yeah, you can just test this out. It's just simply going to work. We can also create a new account if we wanted to. And yeah, this is how it's basically done the old-fashioned way. You know, you have to create this normal auth state and all of that stuff with the sign up, the sign in, the logout. And there are other things to consider also. The auth, the user, we can get the UID from it. So yeah, this is basically how we would just do it the normal way. Now I'm going to show you how to do it the boosted way with the help of Firebase Firestore. And what we are going to do is basically kind of the same thing that I'm going to teach you on the SwiftUI camp. We are going to build out the Twitter application, iOS and macOS, 6 weeks of Zoom calls with me, 2 hours long each. Yeah, just go ahead and check it out. It's a store.rebeloper.com/SwiftUI Camp Twitter edition. The link is in the description for 50% off only for YouTube viewers. Go ahead and check it out. I highly recommend that. Starts on February the 1st and only 2 seats are left because all I want is 5 people to teach how to master SwiftUI in 6 weeks. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's just jump into our boosted way. So under the boosted, I have our container view. And what I'm going to do here real quickly is just create the auth view. So let's have our auth view. Let's create that. And then let's create our main view. So let's create a new file again. SwiftUI view, next, main view. Okay, and now I'm not going to import Firebase, so I'm going to remove this. Let's remove that. Instead, I'm going to add Firebase service. So Firebase service is a free library that I have created. Go on and add that package, and this will also add Firebase Firestore storage and also cloud functions as submodules. So don't worry that I removed the Firebase iOS SDK. The Firebase service will also add that and much more. As you can see, we also already have better codable added, which we might use in a later session. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to get notified. Okay, so we have Firebase service right over here, and yeah, once we add that, as you can see, Firebase has been added and all of the other stuff because Firebase service has them as submodules. Now we can just do our magic. Now we have our container view right over here, container view. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, let's import Firebase service, and then we want to create a private state object of auth state of type auth state. And there is also should log out upon launch option. If you accidentally deleted your user from the development mode, then you know your app will just simply crash because on the device you are still logged in, but on Firestore you are on Firebase you are not logged in because you don't have a user. Yeah, that takes care of that. But currently we have our auth state. So let's create our group. So group. There we go, and we just go switch through our auth states.value. We have our case of undefined. Well, strange enough, it's kind of the same, but we have already built out. But again, it's much more under the hood. We have our not authenticated, which will have our auth view right over there. And the final case is authenticated, which will have our main view. Wouldn't you know it? It's just as simple as that. We already have our auth state. Okay, that's fine. But what happens next? Well, what we want to do is under our auth view, let's just go in there. So We want to, well, actually, I'm just going to copy some stuff out. Basically, I want to copy out the body. Let's just go with the body. I'm going to copy that out. Let's just paste that into the auth view. Okay. And we're going to have some issues with the email and all of that. And the is signed up. I'm going to copy that out because it's for this view only. Let's just paste that in. And then what about the authentication part? Well, there is authenticate. Let's see. Oh, first of all, I need to import Firebase service. And I just added something lately. Well, actually, I perfected it today, and it's under the property wrappers and our authentication, this Firebase Authenticator. So let's just have Firebase Authenticator private var. Let's just name this auth, and basically that's it. You don't have to do anything else. So under auth, here under the text, we just go $auth, come on, auth dot context, come on, auth dot, oh, I do need to have underscore because it's a property wrapper, auth dot, we access the context, but we are going to use $context because I need a binding right over here. And then value dot, and we have email and password already right over here. So we do the same for the password. So underscore auth dot context dot value dot password. That's linked to our secure field. And then under sign in, sign up, well, actually, let me just create these real quickly. So func sign in, there we go. And then let's create our sign up so we don't have any issues there. Sign up. Okay, so how do we sign in or sign up? All of the other logic is still okay. We just go underscore auth dot context dot, and we have sign in. Of course, this has to be inside an asynchronous, this is an asynchronous throwing function, so we need to have a task with a do catch statement. So let me just copy that out from here. There we go, auth view. Let's just paste it in there. And instead of, you know, the auth state and all of that stuff, we are going to try await underscore auth dot context, and then we just go sign in. We don't have to provide anything. Everything is taken care because we are linking our text field and our secure field to our context. And then let me just copy this out and do the same for our sign up. Wouldn't you know it? It's kind of the same. Okay, now this, well, all.context sign up. Well, don't we have a sign up? Oh, we have a create user. Sorry, it's create user. I was mistaken on that part. We have create user because, yeah, the Firebase API also has create user. Okay, so that's create user. But what about our main view? Well, on the main view, well, actually, I'm just going to copy out our authenticator, just like that. Let's go into the main view. Authenticator, and then let's just have our button, copy it out again. Let's just put it right over there, and also the logout function, func logout. There we go. How do we do that? Well, most probably you already guessed this. We want to, well, let me just copy out the task and the do catch statement under the main view, paste it in there. Let me just remove this part because we are not signing in, and we do need to import Firebase service for the Firebase Authenticator to be available. And then what do? Well, try wait. Well, actually, it's just trying. We don't really need a task at all because logging out is just a throwing function, and that is underscore auth dot context dot logout. Well, actually, it's sign out, I believe. Yes. Auth.context.signout. That is as simple as that. What we want to do is set this to false, because now we are not in more normal mode, we are in boosted mode. So let's see this again in action. And I'm going to actually create another user so we can see that actually it's working. It's not, let's see, let's just wait for this. I can take a sip of water. Let's see, what step did I miss? So we have our content. Oh, it's not content view, sorry. It's container view. Container view, right over there. Okay, it's just going to reuse itself over and over again. So we have our container view. There we go. Sign in. Let's say we don't have an account. So I don't have an account. Let's create dev1@gmail.com and the password, and then sign up. We're signed up, really great. Let's see if we do have a new user right over here on our authentication. There we go. We have our new user, really great. So what we want to do is log out. So let's log out. Okay, works as expected. Now I want to sign in. dev1@gmail.com ASD. There we go. Sign in. Again, it's log out. It's as easy as that. As you can see now with Firebase service, it's much easier. You just create your container view, switch through all of the auth states values, have our auth view, maybe have some logic of presenting the sign in and sign up over there, link everything to our authenticator, and then you can just simply authenticate. You just go sign in or create user. On the main view, you just sign out with the logout button. Okay, now all of this and much more I will cover in SwiftUI Camp. It's starting February the 1st. The link is in the description. 2 seats left. The link is 50% off. We are going to build out the Twitter clone app in SwiftUI for iOS and macOS. So go ahead and check it out. It's a store.rebeloper.com SwiftUI Camp Twitter edition, and I will see you tomorrow where we are going to take it from here and we are going to see how to handle Firebase's FIRESTORE, which is really amazing. It's taking it to the next level with Firebase service. So I will see you tomorrow.